Hey everyone, and welcome to the first video in a series of videos covering the strategic part of A/B testing. My name is Anastasia, and I'm in the marketing team at SplitMetrics. Today I'm gonna talk about why marketers A/B test overall. And to do that, we'll look at the reasons that are specific to games and apps. This will be part one, and then we will look at how A/B experiments can help app marketers throughout the app's lifecycle. Before we start, let me say a few words about what SplitMetrics does. We offer a smart A/B testing platform and agency services that help optimize your app's App Store listing for multiple reasons, to boost conversion, to launch the new product, and to make high-level product decisions. All these things you can do with SplitMetrics. So let's jump in and see how A/B testing approaches are specific to games and apps. And to do that, I'm going to rely on the essential differences between apps and games. And to start with, we'll look at the audiences. When it comes to games, their audience is most commonly wider in comparison to apps. The reason why people download games comes down to mainly one motivation: the fun of playing, the immersive experience that can help kill time or distract from the reality. As for apps, there are countless of motivations for downloading users, like who want to trade stocks and crypto will download a trading app. Those who want to do home workouts will get a fitness app with such a feature, and so on and so forth. I think you'll get me. So the app's audience is mainly niche in terms of interests and demographics as well. So to check the best audience of the product, you can run an A/B test. Normally, these will be one variation experiments where you direct traffic to it and check the overall performance and behavior stats on the app page. So let's get back to games versus apps. Games, especially on the pre-launch, will normally run an A/B test for a wide audience, not specifying the age, gender, or interests, just to see what is happening on the page for behavioral stats. Another thing that they can do is to run one experiment for a wider audience and another one for a narrow audience, and they will then compare the analysis, do the comparative analysis of the results to see which of the audiences performs better. Apps, in turn, will rarely run A/B tests for a wide audience. They will search for the possible audience niches before the test, and they will then run A/B tests to check which of the niches works perfectly for them. So let's move on and see how games and apps are different in terms of their product essence and how it affects A/B testing. Games are mainly aimed at giving the fun of playing, so marketers will try to showcase the content richness, like the diversity of characters, items, stories, levels, maps, and stuff like that, and they will showcase the gameplay. As for A/B testing, pure gameplay will be most commonly tested on the pre-launch when app marketers want to decide on the best visuals, or it can also be tested in live games when there are some changes introduced into the gameplay after the release of the game. For example, like seasonal changes to the characters. Features, in turn, are A/B tested at the post-launch stage for games. If you've got something that others don't, so the differentiator from the competitors, you can place it on the first screenshot and run an A/B test to see how your audience responds to this. So, to sum up, games will focus on both content and features in their A/B testing strategy. Apps instead will focus on the value propositioning and features. In comparison to games, app users are mainly triggered by the utility, so the benefits they can get from the app. So the key aim of a marketer here is to showcase features that solve the problems of users. And A/B testing will help here to decide on the best combination of visuals and messaging and the order of features placed on screenshots that will pull the trigger. Overall, both categories, for both categories, the key recommendation is to start A/B testing visuals and keep the description for later. In games, the focus is on the product itself, while apps place focus on the user and their benefits. So games emphasize the visual part of the game, and they sometimes will even don't have captions on the screenshots. So we've seen at SplitMetrics, we've seen tests, game marketers who tested compared the performance of screenshots with captions against screenshots without them. Apps instead should always have captions. They have the text has an educational purpose, as it explains the value and the why users should tap get. So apps will A/B test the wording, different variants of CTAs, the order of text messages placed on screenshots. As for full description, we at SplitMetrics have such a metric in our platform called installs per read more. And normally in gaming, this metric doesn't exceed 1%. This is like a common situation for games, and gaming publishers hardly ever A/B test game description. As for apps, page visitors want to study what's inside the app, and sometimes install per read more is about 5 to 6%, and this is this can happen very often to financial and business apps, because people want to study what they're gonna get. And if this is your case, if installs per read more is about 5 to 6%, you should try A/B testing the screen, their description, the full description. So now let's compare games and apps in terms of the importance of being recognized. In comparison to apps, games are installed and uninstalled more often. So for games, it's more important to come as a new game to the App Store visitor. So it's recommended to redesign the icon of a game, redesign and A/B test the icon of a game every 2 to 6 months. This strategy can help increase the explore traffic conversion and installs overall. Games A/B test icons more often than apps, and for apps the icon is a more stable element. Very often it represents the brand, and it's recognizable, and if you change it, it's pointless. There's no point in killing such a conversion trigger. This is especially relevant to big brands, right? What apps can A/B test is slight changes to the icon, some elements added to the icon, all the changes within the brand style guide. And let me say a few words about the seasonality. Seasonality A/B tests are a common thing for games. Sometimes a small snowflake added to the icon can give a good conversion boost. So, for example, Mytona optimized their icon before Halloween for their game Seeker's Note Hidden Mystery. They A/B tested 2 variations. On the first one, there was a well-known man in a hat, and on the second one, there was a smiling pumpkin, right? And the second version, optimized for Halloween, won. It showed the conversion increase of 9%. It makes sense for games to catch this holiday rush, and as for apps, these kinds of tests are applicable to several kinds of categories. It can work for shopping, for social networking, and for dating. For these categories, seasonal adaptation can give a good conversion boost. So now that we know the difference between apps and games in terms of A/B testing, let's look at how A/B testing can be built into the app's lifecycle, and how it can be used at pre-launch, launch, and post-launch stages. So let's start with the pre-launch stage. Through pre-launch A/B testing, you get data-driven insights into how your audience would respond to the product. So at this stage, A/B testing is mainly used to research the market or to validate the app's idea, the app's concept, or you might as well get behavioral stats that will help you polish the App Store page and the app itself before the release. These data can help you save a good deal of time, a good deal of money and other resources for the development, and minimize the risk of failing in the market post-launch. So in short, A/B testing on pre-launch can help identify the best concept of your app or game, validate the positioning, the features, define proper target audience, the best acquisition channel, and polish your App Store page before the release. So now let's get deeper into each of the applications. To identify the best concept of your non-existent app, you can come up with one idea and create a one variation experiment to check the performance. Alternatively, you can come up with a couple of ideas of your app or game, like a quiz on guessing the brand and a quiz on guessing the movie, and show these two variations to your target audience. Then you compare the conversion rate improvement, and the variation with the bigger one will be a way to go. So the key metric here is to look at the conversion rate improvement. Now let me add something on the technical side of the experiment. In a one variation test, you direct traffic to it and check the overall performance and the overall conversion rate, behavioral stats, and other metrics on the app page. This is done to see how the concept performs overall. So this is suitable for app marketers who come up with only one idea to check. There are also multivariate A/B tests. These are used to check two variations against each other. The variations will have a totally different app page elements, different icons, screenshots, videos, stuff like that. And such tests are suitable for those who have come up with two app or game concepts and they want to compare them. Let's move on. As for apps, you might check such concepts as calorie calculator against a running app, or a life coach app against meditation app, and so on. I think you get me. By the way, Masquerade used our A/B testing platform to validate their app's concept. Before the launch, they tested two app ideas, a mask app versus messenger, and it turned that their audience liked the mask app version more, and they decided to go with this app idea, but we could have had a messenger instead. Okay, let's move on. And on pre-launch, you may as well want to find a proper positioning or a proper category for your future app or game. For example, you can check how the audience responds to one game positioned differently. For example, positioned like as a card game, and as a puzzle game, or as a shooter versus a strategy game. Or you can check the app's positioning as a simple solution to the user problem, or as a fast solution. As for apps, we had a case of Wanna Nails app. They validated position via A/B testing on SplitMetrics. They A/B tested their title, the titles, different variants of them, and the one saying manicure try on had the best conversion rate improvement, and they decided to go with this title. This decision helped the app rock the App Store, and the company raised $2 million investments. Okay, now let's see how pre-launch A/B testing can help validate the different apps and games features, and the process is pretty much similar to validating a concept, but the difference is that we are going to compare A/B test variations which are identical except for only one app page element. For example, screenshots that you can compare screenshots that showcase different app features. One set of screenshots might stress the voice recognition feature, and the other one may stress a voice changer feature. And you're going to check which one performs better. So back to the Masquerade app that I mentioned before. After they decided to build a face mask app, they decided to keep A/B testing, and they wanted to test features. So they figured out that their audience was more interested in live masks than in the face swap feature, so they went with the live masks concept. So you can see, based on this Masquerade example, that A/B testing is not a one-time action. Then this is a process, and it's very important to keep on improving, on your app. As for games, at the prototyping stage of the development, you may check the core setting, like space versus water world, or middle age versus fantasy, and stuff like that. For example, game developer Pixel Federation used SplitMetrics at their pre-launch to port their desktop games to mobile. Before releasing their match-3 game, they tested 3 visual concepts: button blast, music match, and yummy blocks. And the A/B test showed that the button blast theme resonated with their audience more, so they decided to go with it. Games might as well want to check which of the game features appeals to the audience more. As you see in this slide, building a city or customizing your characters, or which characters gamers like more, dragons or zombies, or which setting is better, space or water world. I think that's it for testing features. What else you can do on pre-launch? You can A/B test target audiences and different ad acquisition channels. Since you have to drive paid traffic to the A/B testing page, you can drive different demographics. Thus, you can collect data on preferable sex, gender, location, and to use this valuable data for your future marketing activities. On this slide, you can also see which metrics you can use to assess the performance of different audiences. Pre-launch A/B testing, as I said, can also be used to check different ad acquisition channels. You can compare channels in terms of on-page conversions, CPI and fraud levels, and choose which one is better for you, like Facebook, cross-promo, or other ad networks. Now, I think we are moving on to the launch, to the post-launch stage. The key aim here is to get discovered and boost conversion rates, and A/B testing can help here to do that by polishing the App Store page. You can improve your screenshots, videos, icon, title, subtitle, full description, promo text, pricing, and you might also run a multivariate test and experiment with different combinations of these page elements. Naturally, you can polish the app page not only post-launch but pre-launch as well, and to start with a good conversion rate just from day one, right? For live apps, we normally recommend starting with the most impactful elements, which are screenshots and videos. As for screenshots, you can try A/B testing, color, style, orientation, portrait versus landscape, captions, and overall messaging. For example, ZMAT publisher tested screenshots for their Bubble Birds 4 game and achieved a 32 conversion boost by applying the results of their A/B tests. What they did, in short, they tested the original app screenshots against the gameplay mix of art overlays, real screenshots. The main character was added to the whole set of new screenshots, and they also remade the captions. The captions just didn't name the features but stressed the fun of playing, and they optimized variation 1 with a 32% conversion increase. So after screenshots, we usually recommend A/B testing videos. First, you can check if you need videos whatsoever. For example, this was done by one of our clients, one of the biggest taxi apps, Viziot. They tested if they needed video on their app page. First of all, they tested a simple screencast that demonstrated the functionality of their app, and later they tested the animated version of the first 2 screenshots. Anyway, the video added to the gallery showed a neutral or even the negative effect on the cost per install rate. So videos not always bring conversion boost. You need to check it before adding to the app page. But if your tests show that you should go with the video, you can then test different concepts of videos or different orientations like portrait versus landscape and see what works for you better. Next, you can keep polishing the app page by optimizing and A/B testing the icon. In the slide, you can see a couple of sketchy examples that we observed with our gaming clients. Like the first one is A/B testing for a match 3 game, and the variation with a bigger object was 49% better in terms of conversion than the icon showing many like small tiny details. The second example is an icon A/B testing for a puzzle game, and it showed that the icon with an object was better in terms of conversion in comparison to the icon showing a character. You like never know what will work for you, and A/B testing the icon is very important because icon is like one of the key elements of your app on the App Store. It represents your app not only on the app page but also in search, in charts and category pages. After you've done with the icon A/B testing, you can keep on testing title, subtitle, descriptions, and other page elements below. So I think we finally approached to the next stage of the app's lifecycle, which is post-launch. And here the main aim of the optimization actions is to scale. So how can you scale? Firstly, you can obviously scale through reaching out to the new markets through localization. And localization implies taking into account different cultural specificities, local customer preferences, which will obviously affect the messaging and the tone of voice. Like you can use business-like tone or a family-like appeal, and this can affect your conversion. For example, Zmad decided to localize their game Magic Jigsaw Puzzles for the Japanese market, and for the visuals to resonate better with the audience, they copied the Japanese style, added lots of small elements, special effects, and emotional captions, and A/B tested the original European-like set of screenshots against the Japanese screenshots, and this optimized version showed a 19% conversion improvement. So what else can you do post-launch using the A/B testing? You may want to find a new audience segments with a higher LTV and bigger engagement. Another case that we've had recently at SplitMetrics was Lab Cave, who tested their game My High School Summer Party, and originally they've launched the game targeted at teenage players, but their subsequent analysis showed that they are more engaged audience was older and female, so they redesigned the artwork. They made it more mature, more realistic, and it fit better for the older audience and communicated better the experience inside the game. They A/B tested the optimized set of screenshots, and as a result, they had like an impressive conversion boost in Google Play, a 314% increase. That's impressive. And okay, another thing you can do post-launch using A/B testing is rebranding, and you can minimize risk of rebranding by running A/B tests of 2-4 sets of rebranded creatives, and thus see how the audience reacts to these sets, and you can see the potential impact of the changes. Moreover, some categories, especially games, seek to keep up with seasonal trends. You might want to redesign your screenshots or icon for Christmas or Black Friday if this is appropriate to your app category, and you can run A/B tests to make sure that you won't do any harm to your conversions and installs. So I think that I've covered the most popular reasons why marketers A/B test across the app's lifecycle of their apps and games. In the description below, I'm gonna add some good reads about this topic, and also feel free to share your ideas on A/B testing. Probably you have tried it at some point of your app's lifecycle, or you might as well ask any questions in the comments. And thank you for listening, and have a lovely day.